may request Novi to lead the prayer.
Let us pray.
Almighty Father, open our hearts to you. Lead us eyes to know you better and to love you. Help us to concentrate in our class and in the Lord of mercy. Make us good boys and good girls in the light of us in Jesus Christ. Please see us through Christ our Lord.
Okay, good morning class.
Good morning, teacher Almendras. Mabuhay!
Okay, you may take your seats. Okay, internet nowadays is very useful to us, diba? In what ways or in what way does you use internet? Sa paanong paraan you are using internet? Okay, for research. What else? Okay, I guess you are already aware that internet has a positive and negative effect on us. Okay, so can you give me a negative effect of the internet? Can you give a negative effect of the internet? Gerald? Okay, video games addiction. So, in what way that video games addiction becomes a negative effect? Because so bakit kaya nagiging negative yung pagiging addict sa video games? Possibly you cannot make your assignments because instead of making your assignments, you are now playing video games, diba? So at this day or at this moment, you are very lucky because some of your classmates will be debating on this very timely issue. Okay? So about the motion, internet caused more harm than good. So while the debate is going on, I want you, especially the audience, especially the non-debaters, I want you to be observant. I want you to prepare questions because there will be a part in which you are going to ask questions to the debaters. So at this time, I will give the floor to Ricardo Pare, our chairperson.
Good morning everyone, I am Ricardo Pare. I am the chairperson of today's debate. Internet nowadays is very known to us. Internet is an electronic communication server that connects with data facilities around the world. Today, Internet has become an integral part of our lives. Internet is an electronic server. The different information is everything is just a click away. Today, we will have a meaningful and timely debate about the topic. Internet causes more harm than good. On my right is the opposition team. They will be arguing in favor of motion. There are Willa Joyce Diao, Jomar Spirinaga, Jerry Calabador, Lester Sixas, Susan Joy Polanco, and Logan Adilasa. On my left is the opposition team. They will be arguing against the motion. There are Willa Canula, Ella Santillan, Genji Janiste, Johnny Costo Piso, Prestar Letinsa, and Francina Piguet. Each speaker will be given a maximum of 3 minutes, monitored by a timekeeper, Manuel Enriquez. Both teams will be closely evaluated by our prestigious judges, headed by our Mr. Angel Camanzo, our grade 6 advisor, and our English teacher, Mr. Edwin Dino Flores, and lastly, our MAPI teacher, Mrs. Milone Reyes. May I call each speaker from both sides to give their points why they are in favor or against the motion. Internet causes more harm than good. Let us start with the proposition team.
I am in favor of this motion because the quality of information online cannot always be relied upon. The internet has become a major source of information for many people. However, online information is usually not gathered through the same checks as newspaper articles, books, or factual television programming. There is a higher risk that some of the facts or quotations from a particular source in an article are false, whereas newspapers might lose customers if people find out they have been selling lies. A blog and other online content can be easily created and uploaded, as well as just as quickly being deleted. If people base their opinions on the information they find online, people will be basing their opinions on false information. Take, for example, the 2006 conspiracy film Loose Change, which has had millions of views. A report from a think tank Demos in a report titled Truth, Lies, and the Internet. A report into young people's digital fluency stated that the film contains a litany of errors, misattributions, bad insinuations, subtle codes, and other falsehoods. Since the Internet gives equal space for material of greatly varying quality, the degree to which the Internet can be viewed as being a total force for good is drawn to question. If an informed society is an empowered society, therefore stands to reason that a misinformed society is disempowered society. Thank you.
I am against the motion that the Internet causes more harm than good, because the Internet is increased economic and creative prosperity at the level grade. The Internet has brought greater prosperity, allowing not only established businesses or distribution channels to be better economically, but has also allowed individuals not to gain, for example. And small independent businesses flourish. This has brought and allowed more choice to ordinary people, also driving down prices, and people find easier in comparing company products. The main advantage to small businesses is that they can cheaply set up online and find a global market for their goods and service. By making it easier to work anywhere with an internet connection, the Internet has also allowed many more people to work from home and to share projects with coworkers across the world, which has allowed for greater economic efficiencies. The Internet has also provided a cheap and wide-reaching platform for independent, creative people to share and distribute their work. This is done via self-promotion, similar to small businesses. In the form of digital portfolios and self-hosted blogs, as well as sharing content, more generally, take for example, a vast array of independent movies gets regularly posted to video hosting websites, such as Limao that Internet has given anyone equal footing by which compete, as everyone has the potential to reach the same global audience. Thank you.
I am in favor of the motion because Internet is a threat to privacy. Everyone's privacy can be greatly harmed by the Internet. Some websites store information. Some ask ethical information, which can be sold to other sites for commercial purposes. As the Internet gains more and more users, the temptation for criminals to gain our private information becomes greater. Hackers can hide their true location when engaging in illegal activities online. So the likelihood of their being brought to justice is low. Whenever people post something online, it becomes almost impossible to erase. And with the proliferation of social network posting of our location online via geotagging, this permeates an action which doesn't take much consideration. However, to demonstrate the danger of this designer, Barry Borsum set up the website pleaserowme.com, which would grab geocaching data and tell people when a person's house is potentially empty. With the aid of the Internet then, we are symbolically sleepwalking into a Big Brother house, into a Big Brother style system. In an information age, all data about ourselves is an important asset and one which needs defending. The infringement and degradation of our privacy as a side result of the Internet should be of great concern. And it is potentially one of the most detrimental effects the Internet could have on society. Thank you.
I am against the motion because of this reason. The power that the internet gives to democracy gives to citizens is good for democracy. People often complain that their opinions are ultimately pointless as nothing will change. This trend can be demonstrated with the numbers of people going out to vote consistently falling. However, with the rise of the internet, this trend would reverse. What the internet has enabled is for everyone, in one way or another, to have the chance to fully have their voice heard. It has given them the ability to fully engage in topics that matter to them on a personal level. As this website and this very debate show, people can debate, share opinions, and ultimately pointers is nothing will change. Not only is democracy being revived, it is also being demanded in countries that do not have democracy due to internet access. This can be seen in what has been described as the Arab Spring, whereby the internet was used as a tool to organize pro-democracy protests in a number of Middle Eastern countries including Tunisia, Egypt, and Syria, to name a but a few. Thank you.
I'm in favor of the motion because the internet has allowed a large amount of criminal, offensive, and discriminatory to be easily accessed. The ability for anyone to be able to publish anything online without barriers resulted in a large amount of information which could not only be incorrect but could also be criminal, offensive, or discriminatory if it were available to the general public. This sort of information would not usually be widely published via channels, but with the advent of the internet, it is very easily accessible by anyone like never before. And this is a dangerous precedent. A cavalcade of propaganda from extremist groups, such as religious zealots or neo-Nazis, for example, can be accessed by anyone around the world. This is dangerous, as vulnerable people can easily be taken in and exploited that discover this material. It is quite often found that lone wolf terrorists, for example, have gotten their information and inspiration from the internet. Gary Reed, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Special Operations and Combating Terrorism in the USA, states that enabled by 21st century technology, extremists have optimized the use of internet chat rooms, websites, and email chains to spread their virulent messages and reach a global audience of potential victims. Number one, but it is not only the terrorists who are utilizing the internet as a detriment to society. Various reports have linked a sharp rise in pedophilia with the growth of the internet. Number two, as it is an easy and often anonymous way to share such material with the world. The ability for anyone to publish anything online could clearly do considerable harm to society, which would have otherwise been much more prevalent and easier to control and regulate. Thank you.
I am against the motion is because the internet helps to bring communities and the world closer together. With the ability for anybody to easily and quickly share rich information online via a whole host of tools, the internet serves to bring people together. First, take for example social networks. Friends can remain connected to each other when miles apart. People can maintain and even create friendship without the barrier of geography. Additionally, social networks have a capacity to distribute news in a timely and targeted manner, directed at the people whom it mostly concerns. It is far greater than that of traditional media connectivity. Secondly, there are many instances of hyper-local news communities media connectivity. Secondly, there are many instances of hyper-local news communities springing up online which can truly engage in their community and help improve it. This model can be extended to bigger areas, helping to engage society for its greater good. For example, Feel.ho.org UK provides a nationwide portal for UK citizens to report youth battles. Thirdly, the internet brings the world together by not only encouraging direct communication with the people from other countries, but also by being to share and distribute information in a way which traditional form of communication could not do. Thank you.
The staff abandoned break to allow votings in finalizing their counterpoints. Our opponents say that the quality of information online cannot always be relied upon. Here's my counterpoint to that statement. The internet gives millions of people access to information they would not otherwise have had, which is a huge benefit. People who read the news, offline or online, are not errantly dupable. They, like all people, do not simply accept messages. They are, to varying degrees, critical of what they read and not simply passive. When people spend a lot of time reading online content, they can't differentiate between bloggers who aren't afraid of extremely biases from bloggers who carefully refer to legitimate sources. The problem of bad information in news making is not unique to the internet. There are lots of trashy magazines and poorly researched news content in traditional print channels of communication as well. We learn in formal education to double check our sources and not believe everything we read. And we can apply that skill while surfing the internet. It is enough to say that the internet contains falsehoods to dismiss the value of internet. All medium contains falsehoods, whether intentional or unintentional. But there is much broader picture that needs to be considered in terms of the ability of the internet to provide people with freedom of expressions and freedom of information. If it being a free-for-all has the downside of some falsehoods, then that is a price worth paying. Thank you.
The opposition team said that the internet has increased economic and creative prosperity in a leveled way. Now, here is my counter to that. The internet has certainly allowed many new small businesses and independent creative people to win international exposure at a low price. However, the internet is on the whole dominated by big companies, taking the most of the business where smaller organizations struggle. The internet has in fact damaged dependence more than it has helped, as offline shops struggle to compete with the financial savings of simply posting entirely online. This is also true for artwork and other creative pursuits because independent offline art projects are being harmed by the convenience of simply posting work online digitally. The economic benefits of being spoken of do exist, but they favor the already powerful conglomerates over independence, as those conglomerates can use their vast income base to dominate. It is especially bad when these big companies migrate online because they share important jobs to the detriment of society. The lower barrier to entry means that anyone can set up business online, but on the whole the majority will struggle to survive and only a rare few will flourish. And that is my counterpoint. Thank you.
The opposition said the internet is free to privacy. Here is my reply to that. Privacy online is a big concern, but an educated citizen can navigate the internet in a safe and sensible manner with minimal privacy issues. Although, as with being offline, the threat of crime can never be entirely eliminated. When we go online, no one forces the user to share private information. This volunteered by the user exchange for a paid service. It is open a small price to pay for the services can be received in return, such as free email or free web space. Of course, privacy can be infringed in other ways, by unlawful access to personal files, for example. But if protections such as firewalls are set up and users are careful about what they download, privacy online can be easily maintained. It is misleading to say we are sleepwalking into a Big Brother experiences. It gives an impression that the effect the internet is having on society is conspiratorial.
This is clearly not the case. People like the way the internet can bring people all over the world together. Privacy is no more problem online than the privacy is offline world. The issue is being overstated by the proposition, and thank you.
According to them, I am referring to the opposition team that the power that the internet gives to citizens is good for democracy. This is my counterpoint. It is overly hopeful to suggest that simply because people now have another medium through which to discuss their views and opinions, that they will necessarily go out and vote. The decrease in voting is a concern for Western countries, but the internet should not be seen as a panacea that will single-handedly solve the problem. In reality, the situation is much more complex. Of course, the internet provides a unique platform to discuss ideas, but it's not revolutionary. The opposition paints a picture suggesting that grassroots movement cannot happen without the internet. This clearly is not true, as a brief look at history will show. While the Arab Spring shows a positive use of the internet in ending democracy, the same tools can be applied toward negative goals. And then, the internet is not intrinsically leads toward ending democracy. For example, much of the organization for the attacks at looting at the UK riots in August 2011 was organized via social networks and blogs. That is my counterpoint. Thank you.
The proposition team emphasizes that the internet has allowed a large amount of criminal, offensive, and discriminatory information to be easily accessed. Here's my counter to that statement. Freedom of information should mean freedom of all types of information, even if it is extreme propaganda, from fringe groups such as neo-Nazis or Al-Qaeda. The public must be trusted to be able to make its own decisions on the value of such text. What is great about the internet is that points of view that would not necessarily get much publicity in traditional media can be aired and discussed online, from serious issues such as capital punishment to less serious ones like aliens. Of course, one of the downfalls of such freedom is that illegal content, such as child pornography, can be made available in a way which it could not have before. But highlighting this issue is not entirely fair, as it is greatly outweighed by the information available online that is perfectly fine and legal. This does not, of course, excuse the publication of such images. It is, however, a slight misnomer to suggest that the internet is entirely free from the restraints of law. In issues of legality, governments can take action. They can either trace the origin of such images, or force web space providers and ISPs, or internet service providers, to take down the content. On the whole, having already access to such a large amount of information and being able to freely add and discuss it is beneficial to society because it is both liberating and educational, and that is my counterpoint.
The opposition also emphasizes that the internet helps to bring communities and the world closer together. Here's what I'm gonna say. This image of the internet drawing people being closer together is simply an illusion. Sitting in front of computers rather than getting out in the world, in fact, isolates people from one another. Some academics argue that narcissism is the glue that keeps social networks together. If people didn't believe that their views are important and needed to be heard, then social networks would be unable to function. Social networks encourage people to express what they are doing rather than reading what others have to say. If people want to feel integrated into their communities, they should get out and about and do something active for it. Complaining about things online will not result in direct action solving the problem. Although it is true that people over the world are now theoretically able to communicate with one another more easily, and that is not how the internet is actually used most of the time. Many internet users either read digitized versions of traditional information sources, and when they are social networking sites, they engage most often with real-life friends, with whom they could easily spend face-to-face time. Language is the other word's barrier to worldwide integration. While there are translation tools online, Most people online will stick to communicating in their native language, and this is particularly true of English speakers. The idea that the internet is bringing new people together is on the whole a myth, and that is my counterpoint. Thank you.
Let us have another 1 minute break to make each team prepare for the rebuttal stage. Time is up. Let the rebuttal begin.
The affirmative stated that online information is not reliable. Can you explain or elaborate further why that online information is not reliable?
Information online were not done through lots of checks such as validation, as we compare to the articles we read on newspaper or books.
Absolutely right. That is why there is a high risk that some of the fact or quotation from a particular source in an article are false.
As what we mentioned in our speech a while ago, if people base their opinions to what they find online, they would believe something is false.
Yes, it is true that there were some unreliable sources of information in the internet. But the problem of bad information and news-making is unique to the internet. There are also a lot of trashy magazines and other reading material.
Remember, what we learn in school, we're taught by our teachers to always validate or to double check every information that we obtain. We can also develop this skill upon surfing the net.
The internet is not only an unsafe place for children, but also a bad influence to young teenagers. Foreign websites can just easily accessed by these children and young teenagers. The number of rape cases this year in Malaysia alone has shocked officials and even the Prime Minister. What can you say on this issue?
The idea that the internet is better off not existing because some people look at porn is like saying cameras bring more harm than good because they are used to take photos of pornography.
Large amount of pornography is a very sensitive effect of the vast database. This is how a little or no effect on the issue.
We also believe that it would be biased if we blame the internet of the growing number of rape cases in Malaysia.
You have to say that you must have tangible evidence to support that statement.
The proposition side have pointed out a while ago that the internet is a threat to privacy. Why did you say so?
It is a threat to privacy. We can quickly see what politicians and celebrities are doing when the paparazzi post news pictures online. But people can also see what are we doing. Some sites store information. Some ask us to pull information which can be sold to other sites for commercial purposes. Once you post something online, it's obviously possible to erase it from the net. For example, if a woman breaks up with a man can take revenge by posting embarrassing photos of woman online.
Indeed true. There have been many numerous court cases where a woman demanded that her ex remove some privately taken photos in a dating site so that she will be left alone. Unfortunately, the law cannot protect your right to privacy in this area.
You are the first and most important person to protect your own privacy. Don't feed in private information if you don't want people to know about it.
Besides, there are a lot of technical websites that's just selling your information, but if you give personal information out without being sure that it will be properly used, you only have to blame yourself.
You told us a while ago the effect of internet on businesses. But in reality, those established business or big companies captured a lot of business online, while smaller or local companies have lost out. We cannot just simply say that because of the internet, small businesses have lost out. Remember that in business, you must have a strategic ways on how to sell the product.
What is good about the internet? You can check the set up online and find in your market.
Not only that, internet has brought a lot more to ordinary people and also driving down prices as people find it easier to compare different companies' products.
At this moment, let's give the audience to ask a question. It will be facilitated by our teacher, Mr. Dupes Ayalvindas.
Okay, so students, do you have your question? So anybody who would ask question, okay, let us begin with each.
What can you say about cyberbullying issue?
It is exactly true. The internet's widespread allow anyone to post anything, leading to cyberbullying. stalking or sexual predators, and inappropriate photos or videos. This can lower people's reputation as well as bring embarrassment to those who people information are revealed to others. Cyberbullying includes sending hateful messages or even death threats to children, spreading lies about them online, making nasty comments to their social networking profile, or making a website to bash their looks or reputation. This clearly shows the negative effects of the internet, especially to the children, the adults of the future. Nobody wants the future to go wrong.
It's clear that everyone's privacy can be greatly harmed by the internet. Privacy online is a big concern. But an educated citizen can navigate the internet in a safe and sensible manner with minimal privacy issues. Although, as we really outlined, the threat of crime can never be entirely eliminated.
Our report gives an impression that the effect of the internet is having a negative impact on society. This is clearly not the case. People like the internet can bring people closer together.
Okay, another question. Okay, so from event.
What about people's addiction to the internet? Yes, many people are just addicted to the internet. They can stop browsing, they are hooked on gaming, and they spend too much time indoors. Instead of going out or playing outside, they sit behind their computers for hours.
A sad consequence of the addiction is that they are so used to high-speed information by just clicking the next link that they can no longer appreciate a good book or a nice conversation with a friend.
In addition to that, failing to take exercise, they grow fat and unhealthy. Their family life suffers and their only relationships are online. They can cope in the real world.
Again, to oppose this emotion, there's nothing wrong with sitting indoors. It's better to sit indoors and surf online than to sit in the front of the television and when the TV company decided we should watch.
20 years ago, people used to worry because kids spend too much time inside watching TV. But viewing hours have dropped as people choose to use internet instead.
There's a lot of educational games and news sites. We can browse around and learn from TV, television could ever provide.
Furthermore, many people keep up their social contacts online, saying they cannot appreciate a nice conversation or a good book. It's just a wild claim.
Okay, another question, but this time from the boys. So, Gerald, what is your question?
What can you say about the idea of bringing people closer together?
The internet helps to bring communities and the world closer together. With the ability for anybody to easily and quickly share rich information online via a whole host of tools, the internet helps to bring people together. People can maintain and even create friendships without the barrier of geography using the internet.
Additionally, the social networks have capacity to distribute news in a timely and targeted manner, directed at the people whom it mostly concerns. That is far greater than that of traditional media cannot compete.
The internet does not bring more than harm than good. Since it brings the world together by not only encouraging direct communication with other people from other countries, but also by being able to share and distribute information in a way which traditional form of communication could not do.
Yes, the idea of getting people closer together is good, but for some other reason, these become a main cause where there are people who become a victim of a crime such as extortion or scams.
Another 1 minute break so that both teams can finalize their final speeches in defending their position. With motion, internet causes more harm than good. But this time, only one representative, both teams, can have a speech.
The internet's definition, the Wikipedia, is a network of networks. The internet has both a lot of good points. But as with any tool, I would like to add that misuse has made the internet bad. Remember, the internet is a useful tool, but all that glitters is not gold. Firstly, because of threats of pop-ups, pornography, and scams that can trick the child. The internet is not only an unsafe place for children, but also a bad influence to young teenagers. Pornography from the internet is leading to the rise of a society of perverts, pedophiles, and freaks, who are unable to contain their sexual desires. The number of rape cases this year in Malaysia alone has shocked officials, even the Prime Minister. These teenagers are the group targeted by the internet. 28% of teenagers globally watch pornography. This might be a minority of people, but the way internet is affected in such a way is shocking. The bad effect on the younger generations, our future leaders, is undeniable. Do keep in mind that the so-called bad side of the internet is overlooked by safe search programs. However, 10% of non-harmful content, such as breast cancer on the internet, is filtered by the safe searches used in the term pornography. Currently, we are able to track the attempts of people to find what they want, as these days, even young children are IT educated and can build and dismantle firewalls with ease, as their parents struggle to build them to protect them. Pornographers have been going overdrive due to the availability of the internet, and it is used to spread the word of their porn sites, following statistics by both secular and religious bodies. Pornography is now more American than apple pie. 2006 and 2005 statistics shows that the US porn revenue earns more than top companies: Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, Amazon, eBay, Apple, Netflix, and Earthlink put together. With these results, we continue to affirm the motion: internets bring more harm than good. Thank you.
I am intrigued by your opinion. The idea that the internet would be better off not existing, because some people look at porn as like saying the invention of alphabet is harmful because it can be used to write insults to others. The large amount of pornography is merely a sad side effect of the vast database that is the internet. This has little or no effect on big issues. I find it incredibly ironic that you are using the internet to communicate your ideas about how you believe the internet is harmful. How would you communicate this idea to anyone? I can see that you obviously take the internet for granted. I would like to point out how the internet has changed our world. It is good for communication. You can instantaneously transmit something from opposite sides of the world. It can transport ideas and information faster than ever. If an innovative idea shows up on one side of the world, the whole world can know about it. It is very important for obtaining information. Before the internet, the only way you could quickly learn some fact or another that you're curious about is to go to the library. And that information is extremely limited compared to the internet. Say, I watched a movie and I recognized an actor. I could go on IMDb in 5 seconds and learn who it was. It has globalized the world. It has helped the economy. Online business such as eBay allows the people to sell stuff to each other easily. Using PayPal, you can digitally transmit money from place to place. There is no doubt that the internet has made life easier all over the globe. Sure, a couple of people look at pornography, but I think the advantages far outweigh this. Anyone with an internet access can come and look at these ideas we are now presenting. If you had it on your own power, would you choose to not build the internet, linking the whole world just because of porn sites? If it is so harmful, then don't tell us that you don't use the internet as your parents in preparing for this debate. And lastly, just for amusement, the internet is not something that you just dump something on. It's not a big track. It's a series of tubes. And if you don't know, those tubes can be killed. Thank you.
At this juncture, let's give time to judges to finalize their verdict. Who among these two teams will win in the very first class debate? With topic, Internet causes more harm than good. Let me share with you the criteria on how the judges evaluate their performance in this debate. Number 1, appearance of team improperly addressed. Number 2, opening statement were well organized. 3, counterpoints address the point presented by opponents. 4, team members address remarks to the audience. 5. Team members participated equally in presenting and explaining their position. 6. Rebuttal was presented to oppose the opponent's opening statement. 7. Team members participated equally in the rebuttal. 8. Answer the audience question were well addressed. 9. Final statement was convincing. And 10. Respect was shown throughout the debate.
There are a lot of benefit that we can get out from this internet. But if we misuse internet, it can also cause harm. Okay, it can also create harm to us. So while the judges are finalizing their evaluation, who will be the winner of this debate, I want you, okay, audience, I want you to make a reflection, okay, based on today's debate. Okay, reflection. So you can start now your reflection in a 1/2 sheet of paper. Reflection.
Pagsulat na sign. Pagsulat na. Ayaw mo.
Now, I have the envelope who takes the winner. Audience, who do you think is the topic? Internet cause more harm. Is the proposition team.